The distinguished gentleman, Mr. Edwards from North Carolina is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. DeJoy, thanks for being with us this afternoon, and thanks for your service to our country. I can't think of many positions one might hold in our federal government that would be less enviable than yours. I can tell you that while the Postal Service is not a perfect system, I know many of the hard-working men and women back at home that serve the Postal Service, and I know them to be professional, dedicated, hard-working people that operate in obviously an imperfect system. I'd like to turn our attention to elections for just a moment. With the heightened emphasis on absentee ballots or mail-in ballots, whatever a state wants to call those, particularly through the pandemic, and many of the aspects of our election system being called into question, the Postal Service has been called into question. And I know in serving in the North Carolina legislature that we have attempted on a number of occasions to pass legislation that says there has to be a time that there's a cutoff to receive absentee ballots. North Carolina just a couple of years ago extended that to 9 days, which in many folks' eyes creates question. And so our effort has been to eliminate the question about when the cutoff should be and pass legislation that says that an absentee ballot should be received by a Board of Elections by the close of business on an election day. But unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there that say that the post office is so incompetent that they would be disenfranchising voters if we had a cutoff time. What could I take back to those folks to give them confidence in our system that the Postal Service is in fact capable of allowing state legislators to create a specific deadline?
So I want to be careful here. I'm not opining on any rules or anything, but I'm going to tell you about the United States Postal Service and their performance in elections. And we have had very, very good performance in elections. And the people, and this was before I got here. The organization was committed to delivering. The people see a ballot on the floor in a plant, they dive on it to get it delivered. What we have done, as we improve our processes, which we have, we're significantly, an overall mail system, the flow through of ballots is in fact better. We've set up a separate organization to monitor this all year long and interact with different agencies. And we've been the most consistent thing in the election process for the last 10 years. States and election boards change all the time, change the rules. So if we get a ballot in time, we will deliver it in time, 99% of the time. And I would suggest, like we have said when we give counsel on this, mail it a week in advance. Let's not wait to the last minute. If you're going to send your mother a Mother's Day card and you wanted to get it on Mother's Day, you don't send it the day before. So from that standpoint, that's what we looked at. We have worked with the previous chair in the committee on, a standard mail piece for elections with barcodes. That would be something that's, but how do you want I can't pay for it. Postal Service can't pay for it. So how do you influence something like that? But I think from the standpoint, as you've seen historically, that we are pretty reliable in getting it done, and we'll get more reliable because our whole system is going to get more reliable as we roll out the rest of the processes in the DFA plan.
Thank you for that. Can you tell us, are there any specific procedures that are changed during an election to handle absentee ballots?
That are changed just for an election?
Right.
Yeah, it is. So we have a number of different agreements with different courts and so forth that we have decided. But it really comes down to that we put more emphasis on hunting for the ballot if we get our hands on it. It's called extraordinary measures, and we do keep post offices open later. We do run more trips. We do whatever we do more of everything. It's just a matter of moving mail and package. We coordinate with some offices where to bring stuff. We do some turnaround in a post office that we normally wouldn't do. I mean, one of the big misunderstandings all the time is the postmark. We don't postmark everything, and a lot of places think that we do, and that's so we try and postmark a little more and so forth. So there is a heightened awareness. Our board, we have a board committee that kicks in to look, chaired by Governor McReynolds. We have a part of our organization that I set up when I came in that is standing all year round, not just for elections, to coordinate specific issues so we have them in advance. And we do go the extra mile to make sure during the elections that every ballot we could possibly deliver on rescue, we do.
Thank you, Mr. DeJoy, and thank you for your service. Mr. Chair, I yield.
Gentleman yields back his time. The